All right, thank you guys for joining me for another 3 power pick a card. Okay, um, let's get into the Reiki for to set the energy of this message. We're using the Reiki inspiration cards. And what is the energy blessing us with this reading? Trust, light, and clarity. And I'm going to close the window so you guys can hear me fully. But also, we also have waiting and miracle. So if you're watching this, you possibly have a miracle coming. And your perseverance is, it will pay off. You're just learning patience. With trust, I feel like you're learning how to trust again in your own light. And you're getting clarity on situations that have been contributing to issues of distrust. Okay, so let me go close the window, and then we'll come back to this reading. All right, so let's get some community messages. All right, so this has something to do with some love messages. So we have self-compassion is standing out. Self-compassion is playing a huge role in your life or someone that you know. The self-compassion, it is showing up in the emotional experiences that you are encountering. And here's a channeled message. I'm recognizing how I contribute to karmic cycles. I am proud of myself for being able to acknowledge the origins of internal self-sabotage. So the emotional experiences could be connected to crossroads to see if you're going to self-sabotage or give yourself the self-compassion that you deserve. If you are experiencing peace, if you are recognizing your sensitivity, and if you're seeing the fun in peacefulness and not having your sensitivities be taken advantage of, have faith that this can last long term. Okay. One more message is wanting to get my attention. This is concerning the self-compassion. And if you're at crossroads where you can self-sabotage or you can practice self-compassion, recognize the cycles or people try to trauma dump onto you. Um, I have a channel message. Journal, draw, run, hike. Just don't talk to me about your long list of never ending problems that you have caused yourself. So if you are dealing with individuals who you're really starting to see that the nature of the relationship is where you're conscious, or where you're the caretaker or the nurturer, and you can be a male having a nurturing type energy. If you're starting to see how people's clinginess and pull is coming over you, and if you're at a crossroads and you're experiencing wanting to self sabotage, and most of the time we do that from a place of trying to protect ourselves from external energies, most of the time. If you're like, okay, I can self sabotage and attempt to protect myself, but it won't actually protect me. What can I do? Self compassion is the answer. Now, it's not that individuals who interfere with clarity being provided, who create distrust issues, and who give into the dark aspects more than their light aspects have a power over you. It's more so that they are, utilizing their time the way they have intentions to utilize their time. So this says here that you cannot control someone else. And this is where self-compassion will come in. Understanding that you can't control another will allow you to be able to be mindful of your triggers, the cycle of being triggered. And it will help you be able to move past certain things that can make you feel powerless and weak. All right, so if you are experiencing people pleasing connected to ambitions, or if you are aware of people utilizing people pleasing to make their ambitions come true, dig deep into your disciplinary, dig deep into discipline, cultivate discipline. Also, community gang stalkers are aware that karmic like behavior is paying off all of their karmic debt in gory details. And this will be showing up on front page stories. So please pay attention to the news, okay? This is where any karmic who could be codependent on something that you're providing for them will be trying to see if you're aware of what's going on. And if you're not aware, they'll use what you don't know against you. So this is where spiteful karmic energy could be basically hoarding information to um, hoard over, to basically oppress you or someone close to you. And but they're experiencing grave disappointment because they're not getting their way. So let's see what this short 3-pile pick a card will be about. This has to do something with parental rights. If you and cycles of child abuse being exposed. So we're going to be doing some inner child healing. If you have experienced cycles of child abuse with abusive parents, we're going to do some healing with these 3-pile picker cards, okay? If you noticed, someone's trying to sabotage your financial foundation, more than likely they witnessed abusive parents doing this. And if you have experienced child abuse, this is going to be some shadow work. But someone's being exposed connected to negatively trying to impact someone's parental rights by trying to sabotage their financial foundation. Now, abuse doesn't always show up physically, sexually, it can show up mentally, emotionally. But we're going to do some healing for childhood abuse. And this is going to be a session that could involve forgiving abusive parents. I don't know what's going to come up in these pals, but this is where unhealed childhood trauma is a reoccurring theme. So let me go get what I need so that we can move forward. If you decide to stay for this reading, if you're ready for this healing, please. Thank you for being present. And if you decide not to, thank you for just thank you for your support. All right, so childhood trauma healing. This is a lot of but yeah, someone's getting exposed, connected to child abuse and being an abusive parent, and also negatively impacting someone's parental rights by trying to sabotage their financial foundation. Childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse. Now, I've been doing childhood inner child healing due to experiencing abuse myself. So this will be very good for me to be able to see from a new perspective why the child abuse could have occurred, and also will help me be able to see how to not repeat cycles. And a lot of times cycles are repeated when we don't know. So without further ado, I will see you at your pal or pals of choice. But yes, if you can know someone, or you could be in a situation, if your parental rights have been negatively impacted, whoever has been trying to sabotage your financial foundation is going to be exposed because they're abusive parents. And they felt that the only way to be able to restrict your parental rights was to negatively impact your financial foundation. And they didn't take into consideration how this would show up as child abuse. So, without further ado, I'll see you at your pal or pals of choice when you are ready. Okay, thank you guys for being present. So welcome, Pal One. We're doing childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents. What do you need to know, Pal One? The overall energy here is the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Now, even though these are in reverse, we're going to cover these from upright and reversed. And also the Page of Wands is showing up here. So this is showing that the source of the abuse could have been motivated and initiated by trying to break poverty consciousness cycles. Not wanting to be in dire situations due to being immature. Picking up on individuals who, with the Page of Wands showing up here, they had a lot of dreams, but they actually weren't willing to put it into work. So when they got the reality of not exactly following up properly, they experienced severe hardship. With this Ten of Cups here, this is what they had in mind. They want this lifestyle, the happiness, the harmony, but they don't exactly do what they need to do on their part to achieve it. With the Page of Pentacles showing up, they could, get so comfortable that they don't actually, you know, have their own form of financial stability. So I'm picking up on people that could have became reliant on someone else who abused and exploited them financially, because they initially wanted a happy family, but the motivating drive behind the partners that they chose was who would be able to keep them from having to suffer. Who is more reliable? Even if there's no love present, they want reliability. With the mm, two of swords here, this this particular cycle of abuse could have resulted from individuals doing spell work to get very well off men, even if they didn't understand the personality of the men, even if they weren't willing to understand how, these men or women became who they were, because the King of Pentacles is on the bottom. You could definitely have people that knew how to recognize their dreams, but they didn't exactly have the motivation and drive to go about doing it. So they could have experienced financial exploitation in homes. They could have been put in boxes, restricted to certain roles. And they possibly could have not been shown how to stand on their own 2 feet. So they could have basically followed the example of their own parents. Now let's get a past energy. We have the Knight of Cups. I feel as if this person was emotionally stunted who impacted you. With the Knight of Cups, they could have learned the necessary skill sets of survival by being charming, but they didn't exactly have the necessary skill sets to be responsible. Presently, we have the Seven of Spades. It's in reverse. This person could be coming to terms with the fact that they cannot deceive someone for a roof over their head or for a sense of peace. I'm picking up on someone who was not provided clarity, and they could have felt such grave frustration with not having clarity that, they could become their own worst enemies, and also made enemies out of other people. People may not know about it, but they definitely could have created enemies, especially when people find out the truth about how they maneuver. Future energy, Four of Pentacles. What I'm noticing is that there is a community in the background, and this person isn't actually in the community at this point, but it's like they're looking at the community, like where they could be, where they fit in with this community. So I'm picking up on people who are willing to, try to figure out how to become accepted into communities in which they were not able to offer advancement. They were restricted, so they repeated cycles of restricting others. So this message concerning childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents, it sounds as if the parental figures in this particular case were motivated by survival, and their survival depended on who they were connected to. And this is only because they made it that way. It wasn't that it was meant to stay this way. They got comfortable doing this. A lot of this has to do with them fearing being alone and not being able to be comfortable with their own presence and not trusting, you know, and not trusting the day-to-day things that take place. It's like these people, I'm picking up on individuals who, when it's time to talk about we have to take care of financial obligations or we need to have a serious discussion about our feelings, they weren't allowed, their emotions weren't validated depending on how much money was present. And they also could have adjusted to meet the emotional needs of someone else. So this is where childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents is showing up. Let's get some advice. We have the 10 of spades and the 4 of clubs here. It's also showing itself is the wild card. I'm picking up on individuals who had a lot of insecurities around providing for themselves. So they got very resourceful from a very dark place, a very, very dark place, and basically chose partnerships based on being able to have a roof over their head, but they also could have tolerated things that restricted them. So this is where someone could have been financially exploited. There definitely could have been abuse in the house. But this abuse is motivated from, individuals not exactly knowing how to be self-efficient, independent, and heavily relying on others. It's like someone saying, I want someone to take care of me, and getting what they asked for and still not being happy and being in very dire situations, but feeling that they can't leave the situation. So it's like feeling trapped and stuck. So and the way they maneuvered and went about, they were controlled financially. So they didn't see that this was a chance for them to develop strength to become financially independent, so that they wouldn't be able to experience financial exploitation. So if you have any issues connected to finances coming up right now, be mindful that you have choices and that you are not stuck in an option that doesn't serve you long term. We'll get you guys a one second, guys. We'll get you guys a positive affirmation from the Finding Inner Peace inspiration cards. I'm also picking up on loveless marriages, loveless connections, and people felt trapped to each other due to finances. So I have choices. I don't have to be stuck in something that no longer fits. I have choices always. So if you are dealing with people who try to like restrict you, and if they try to, have you not be aware of things, or also, want you to feel like you're in a box, it's like that you could be experiencing people trying to hoard onto you. Realize you have choices. And then we have appreciating myself. I completely know my own worth and honor and love my wonderful soul. Um, you could have got used to people who consciously attacked your self-worth, and they wanted you to view yourself as something below them. So they could have maliciously tried to get you to change the way you see yourself. So this is how, childhood trauma could be showing up in some of your interpersonal relationships. But realize you have choices. And we're going to end your reading there, pile one. Thank you guys for being present. Love, peace, and happiness. So welcome, pile two. So we're doing childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents. So let's see what messages you guys need to hear today. The overall energy is the World and the Six of Cups. So we're in a new era where generations are changing. So you could be noticing, the way you were parented is very different from the way others are being parented. So you may be thinking about, I would like to change the way that I'm going to parent. You may be, if you are a parent, you may be trying to figure out how to include new conscious forms of parenting into your current situation, because you want to have a better relationship with your child or children than you could have had with your own parents. So you could be finding out new information so that you can move accordingly. Past energy, we have the 10 of Swords energy here. Yes, it's in reverse, but we'll also cover this from upright position. There could have been a lot of betrayal in your family, a lot of betrayal, to the point where you could be the black sheep. You may not be the black sheep, but your family, you could have grew up in a family where if someone felt uncomfortable, they would go above and beyond. If someone had to, if someone was, if someone could not, if someone was made to, if someone felt uncomfortable with necessary actions that had to be taken, I'm picking up on people that wasted their time wasters. If they felt like they had to actually get up and do something to make any changes, they would have basically tried to strategically heap tons of responsibility upon the responsible one, who they felt if that person left the family, they would reach heights that people like them wouldn't be able to reach. So I'm feeling like there could be secrets of betrayal in your family that will be coming out. There could have been a lot of financial motivation, a lot of game plan. There could have been a lot of people who abused and exploited individuals in your family. Some people in your family could have not been given the proper due respect that they deserve. Also, this is where, you could have family members who wanted to seek outside escapes from the turmoil of being in their family unit and not having the words to describe it. So this is where, cycles of domestic abuse could have occurred outside of their initial family unit. Present energy is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles will always have stability because they're able to see things before things occur. They're able to clock patterns. So you could have lived in a family that was able to clock patterns, but now you may be mindful of your own patterns so that you won't, be overburdened. You could be asked at this time to learn to properly delegate with the right team, or and if you are not working with people that will best serve you long term, who will more be a nuisance to your overall well-being and health. You're being asked to see everything that's going on presence wise, because with the pentacles here, this is showing there is evidence of something taking place, and you're being asked to simply go with the flow, even if that can be difficult at this present point in time. Patience is how you can make peace with what is not yours to carry anymore. So this childhood trauma healing is connected to, you know, um, individuals that don't want to be uncomfortable, trying to secure comfortability by any means necessary. And there's evidence showing up how they went about doing it. So you're just being asked to go slow and steady. That way, if there's something where you can gather evidence for a legal proceeding, you'll be good to go, because this will expose some individuals who like to be extremely comfortable. Hard work scares them. I feel the abuse was motivated by, wanting to be comfortable by any means necessary, by trying to get other people to fall into line in place. And this could have been a long term. You may know somebody, or you could have been conditioned to long term tolerate someone's abuse, where it became normal for you, and now you're just simply being asked to just sit back and watch, because there's evidence of foul play at hand. Now, future energy is the Nine of Cups here. I'm picking up on people who got so comfortable. Some of them could have developed addictions, but they also knew that if you did not carry their burdens, you would live a life that they wouldn't be able to be a part of, because their addictions would have destroyed your foundation. I'm picking up on people who long term conditioned you or someone that you're close to basically feel comfortable And they have planned on doing this for quite a long time. They had no intention of it being interrupted, and they could have become quite volatile or resulted in narcissistic rage when they felt extremely uncomfortable. So let's get you guys some advice, pal. Pal, too. We have the Jack of Diamonds and the Eight of Diamonds and the Seven of Diamonds. So I'm feeling like as long as there was consistent income coming in, there was peace coming in. I'm feeling like whoever this is connected to, they were very strategic in making sure finances stayed present. This is someone who could have utilized sex as a way to keep partners interested. You know what I'm saying? If they didn't have anything else to offer, they could have been very difficult in nature, and they could have abused and exploited sex to their partner to get their partners to be very comfortable with them. So while finances, you may have you could have certain association with finances concerned to how these people moved about greedily, you're being asked to stay focused on your financial foundation. These people were a blessing to you in disguise because they taught you the importance of building a financial foundation. With the Seven of Diamonds and the Eight of Diamonds, with the Jack of Diamonds here, they taught you the skill sets to be able to be, your own provider. So they actually have helped you out more than they're aware of. I feel like now you may be trying to figure out how to separate yourselves. You may know someone who's trying to figure out how to separate themselves financially from someone. And this could be connected to, how the childhood trauma is showing up in the present moment, where you could be or know someone trying to separate themselves from individuals who are financially motivated. So we'll get you a beautiful positive affirmation from the Finding Inner Peace inspiration cards. We have becoming aware and softening my heart. I am becoming aware of things that are holding me back so I can live my life to its full potential. I'm picking up that if you are presently experiencing individuals who are trying to glue themselves to your finances, or someone who's trying to glue themselves, or if you know someone's trying to glue themselves to their finances, they know that your full potential will outsurpass them. So they could be, doing their very best to sabotage you reaching your full potential, but it's backfiring. Um, they want you to harden your heart. So we have the softening my heart. I'm no longer willing to let bad experiences take over my heart. It's time to let go of the negativity. These people are feeling the full brunt of frustration. Anyone who's trying to sabotage you, they want you to feel as ugly as they feel. So this is why they may treat trying to, negatively impact you like a game, because they feel that if you harbor a bunch of toxic emotions, you're going to block your blessings. So they want you to block your own blessings since they can't block your blessings for you. Anyway, we're going to end your reading there. But this is how childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents can be showing up in your day, like in your present reality, where you're seeing the extent that these individuals will go to. to be able to block your progress. If you experience people trying to block your progress during your childhood, these people that you're dealing with now, just so you know, the solutions to put an end to their exploitation is in the very depths of your childhood trauma. However, if you have people in your childhood, especially if it was parental figures, do what they could do to keep you from reaching your full potential. The solution is in the pain from your childhood trauma of how to release people who could be repeating these cycles that you have gotten used to of a dysfunctional family. And this would make it so, you know how dysfunctional families like to say, well, we've done this for so long. This is your role in my life, and this is my role in your life. You'll be able to remove yourself from said individuals in a manner where they won't be able to create unnecessary dramatic situations out of thin air. When you're dealing with people who maneuver in this manner, who they willing to secure the bag by any means necessary, and they're willing to create boxes for you, they're willing to try to box you in because they're boxed in. The fact that you have more chances of reaching your full potential says you will get out of this cycle. It's just the solution to getting out of this cycle is in the pain of, if you experienced in your childhood, it's in the pain of realizing how people try to box you in mentally. Did they say, look, if you do this, it's gonna look weird, peer pressure, or if you do this, bad things will happen, or fear, or that's impossible, can't do that, or no one's gonna understand you. However they went above and beyond to restrict you, that is how someone restricted them. And the solutions that you need to remove yourselves from these people, if you're in this situation, it's in the depths of the pain. All right, you guys, I'll see you. So, welcome, Pal 3. We're doing childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents. Let's see what messages that you need to know concerning childhood trauma connected to child abuse and abusive parents. We have the Four of Cups, the Page of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles being the overall energy here. I feel like you didn't have much privacy, Pile 3. I feel like you had people who were dedicated to understanding you better than you can understand yourself, but they also misinterpreted you based off of how they viewed the world. So with the Page of Swords and the Four of Cups, you could have had people constantly, make remarks about things that you could have been doing. With the Knight of Pentacles, this was long-term investment to try to basically have you wondering, am I doing the right thing? So you could have had people constantly trying to have you feeling like you weren't doing the right thing. But also, this comes from the fact that they had a lot of regrets and they didn't also want you to repeat their mistakes. But they didn't exactly understand that the way they were going about trying to prevent you from repeating their mistakes was actually them repeating their mistakes and projecting those mistakes onto you. So they could have projected the way they perceive themselves and certain actions onto you by nitpicking with you. So you could be very aware of, things that you could do. You could overthink things at times because you could have basically had no privacy. You could have had your privacy violated as a child to the point that you're mindful, extremely mindful of how you're moving because you understand that if someone from your childhood misinterpreted your actions or narrated your actions as if they knew you so much to the point that what they said went, you may be trying to figure out, okay, who am I for all of this? So basically, um we'll do some Reiki in your pal to remove negative projections and for clarity. Let's do that now. Most High, I am your vessel. Allow me to be a messenger to deliver Reiki for clarity and to remove negative projections. All right, so let's get a past energy. We have the Ace of Swords here. Let me, let's actually, mm. So I feel as if there was things you picked up on as a child that, with the regrets coming up, that some of your caretakers didn't want you to know about. They thought you would view them in a different light if you actually knew the truth about them. But you possibly knew truths about people that they would not have wanted others to know about. So that's why they could have tried to monitor you because they didn't want certain truths coming out. They possibly could have went above and beyond to um, negatively impact the way you went about seeking help. Their help could have included attachments to it. So they possibly consciously sabotage you being able to recognize decent help because they were more so afraid of their truth being exposed. So I feel like that's why they more so could have kept such you could have had a very sheltered life. They could have kept such close eyes on you to the point that they had other people thinking that people had to be concerned about you. But literally, they did all this to cover up the fact that they did not want certain truths about certain regrets coming out. And you could have exposed this unaware of it. And what you didn't know, they could have really took advantage of this and tried to create a narrative where you had to be watched. So you could have not had any privacy due to some people not wanting certain things to come out. Because they were afraid of how they would be viewed. But the fact that you were able to pick up on it and you also could expose it with that Ace of Swords, they could have strategically positioned themselves in your life to consistently have some type of say so about what you did and what you didn't do, because this is how they were able to keep certain things under wraps. Now we have the Nine of Cups presently. Let's see what this is about. Whoever it is that I'm picking up on, if they haven't got caught retaliating with narcissistic rage and it's been exposed, it will happen. And this is going to bring in something that they've been trying to keep from you. I feel like this energy I'm picking up on, they could have been trying to keep something from you. The fact that you know the truth about them, they could have really went above and beyond to keep you from something. I feel like they developed some type of obsession with controlling you. They could have had no control in their own life, and they felt a type of power being able to monitor you the way that they monitor you, and they felt powerful, feeling like no one would ever figure out the truth about them. So I feel like they had developed some type of obsession with you, wanting you to stay quiet. So they could have went above and beyond to try to sabotage things for you, even if you weren't, investing into anything that they had going on. They could have went above and beyond to take out their fears of being oppressed and their feelings of powerlessness onto you. If they were able to get away with it for quite a long time, this could have turned into some type of obsession where if they weren't able to control your narrative, their narcissistic rage will be exposed if it has not been exposed yet. They could have been retaliating against you, but you going after something that you wanted or something that is yours. This could have exposed anything that they could have said about you, and it would expose that they simply had an unhealthy obsession. This person could have narcissistically abused you, and you could have encountered other people just like them, and you may be at a crossroads, like, what do I do? How do I get justice for what's taking place? um how do I move forward? This person is in an energy of revenge, resentment, retaliation, and that's what's going to get them caught. You're being advised to not self-destruct and self-sabotage something that's coming in for you right now. This person could have, did some things to have things go in their favor that they would not want anyone knowing about, because it would show how untrustworthy they are. But if this person tried to obsessively stop something from coming in for you, it's because it would expose how they have been trying to basically control you for majority of your life. And you could have encountered other people like this. Future energy, we have the Emperor. Now, with you taking control of your life with this Emperor energy, I feel like this person wanted to influence you so that you could put out their agenda. And they felt the only way they could do that was if they had their claws in you. So you in the future, you will be in a full-blown leadership position. But I feel like this person could have picked up on some things like that. And I feel like they at your weakest point, or when you were naive, this is when they started instilling certain things into you. So you may not have you may not have had a lot of privacy. They could have picked up on the fact that, you know, whatever you decide to do and go in the direction that you choose to go into is going to be successful. So they tried their best to basically influence your decision making selfishly, because I'm picking up on people that would not want the responsibility of being in a leadership role, but they would want to, you know, have people in leadership roles next to them, and they'd want to tell those people, this is what I want, this is what I want you to do, even if it could have consequences and backfire. They would rather the people in the leadership roles suffer the consequences of promoting toxic shit. I'm picking up on people that would like to sit back and sit there and say, okay, you put my agenda out. I know it's going to backfire, so I'm going to remove myself from the situation, but only come back only when I need something. So yeah, you gonna be stepping into a leadership role, whether you believe it or not. You're being prepared for a leadership role. The abuse that you have been subjected to is actually and was for your highest good, because it's made you aware of how certain people target naivety and your innocence. This person wasn't bold enough to target you when you were aware. They targeted you specifically when you were naive. So this is where you could have distrust issues coming up. These are triggers that could be coming up. So let's get you guys some advice on how to move forward with this situation. I feel like this person really tried their very best to basically, they wanted to live rent free in your head. So even if you weren't with them, they felt a source of power being able to be connected to you and being able to um influence you. It's kind of like when you're playing chess, you know, the bishop and the king. The king needs a bishop, but I feel like you have people trying to bishop you. I'm picking up on people who understand the importance of not being the king. I felt like this person saw that you have potential to be a king, you know, in a leadership position, and they purposely wanted to get you to manifest some things for them. And this was long term. And the fact that they felt entitled to reaping the benefits of you, if you put out their agenda, this is quite abusive in nature. We have the Two of Spades and the Three of Diamonds here. If you have someone trying to work with you, trust your intuition. Um, this is talking about childhood trauma healing connected to child abuse and abusive parents. And if you have dealt with abusive type parental figures who wanted to condition you to be able to put out their agendas in their way, and they wanted you to get the brunt of the consequences for whatever it is that they were willing to emotionally manipulate you to do. You could have attracted people like this in present time, And trust your intuition about working with them. Because we have the 7 of Diamonds and the 7 of Clubs here. And this is saying working with these people is going to be like you're working with your enemy, like sleeping with the enemy. If you met people that remind you of a childhood that you're like, okay, I want to get away from this situation, and they're trying to put finances in it, they have every intention of causing you havoc and hell. With the 7 of Diamonds and the 7 of Clubs, they'll definitely utilize the law against you if you allow them to drain you with constant, what's wrong now? Why are we having so much problems? We started out working good. You said this will be good. What's the problem now? They would I'm picking up if you're having relations with people where they want to work with you, but you can see it's going to be a bit of a problem long term, they will utilize the legal system against you um in order to basically hit you where it hurts. These are people of you probably have attracted people who want to live rent free in your head. They don't care if they hurt you. They just want you to know, hey, I left my mark on you. So now whoever tries to get access to you, you're gonna have to move real smooth with them, real different with them. Because I feel like you have trust issues and things of that nature, pile 3, and this could have been a relationship dynamic you could have witnessed in your childhood, and it's repeating itself in your present day connections. So let's get you guys some advice. We have, it has always been within me, and a new day, a new start. I feel like you someone's trying to disconnect you from believing in yourself. They want you to feel like a failure. That's why if you choose to work with them, they'll try to make it seem as if you're the problem, that something's not working out, and they'll try to get you to doubt yourself. Okay? So, it has always been within. Everything I need is already inside me, as it has always been. You could be dealing with someone who's materialistic. The abusive cycle that you may be recognizing from childhood and in present dynamics is dealing with people who are very materialistic because they're disconnected from themselves. So the more materialistic gain that they get from you, or that they gain from a situation being connected to you, this is the level of betrayal that they're willing to do. If they're not able to have materialistic things, they can't hide behind their true intentions. So they like to gather things. They like to hoard things. It's a power move. And you could have had you could have seen a dynamic like this growing up as a child and didn't know how to put it into words. So I'm picking up on someone, the more materialistic items they get from you, this is, the worse that they'll try to betray you. We also have a new day, a new start. It's okay to fail. Every day is a new start, and I will treat myself graciously. So, we're not going to focus on the dynamics that's coming through with your reading, pile 3. All I'm saying is you're not a failure. Treat yourself graciously. And the most successful people did not always have it easy. In fact, they kept trying and trying again. And an abusive dynamic that could be showing itself is you could be dealing with individuals who, You could be dealing with individuals who they give up on themselves quickly. You could have had parental figures who gave up on themselves quickly. And you're being asked to break the cycle of giving up on yourself by recognizing how you give up on yourself. And what we'll do, we'll bless you guys with some Reiki, because I do see that if you guys are still here, um, you guys are still here. We have miracle and waiting. This will bless you with patience and also the faith that something is a breakthrough is happening, okay? Because I'm definitely picking up on individuals who they've lost hope, so they like to wear and tear down on other people's hopes. And you could have had this in a parental dynamic when you were a child, and you could be encountering people like this in your adult life. And this is your time to have a brand new beginning. So, you could write on a piece of paper, what would you like to experience in your brand new beginning? And, instead of, I'm upset with such and such, exactly what do you want to experience in your brand new beginning? For example, um, do you want to have family meals that are actually happy? Do you want to be able to travel with people that you don't that aren't going to try to use it as clout and attach themselves to your name or your brand, but actually who genuinely you have fun traveling with, and they can keep their business to themselves? Do you want to attract a sexual relationship that is drama free, that doesn't have spiteful retaliation? Are you looking to attract a home that you know is always going to be there, whether you're there or not? You know you can come back home and have them keys. Are you looking for being able to just know yourself so deeply and being the positive example that you always needed to be? You can write all of this down. I hope that helped you guys, Pal 3. Thank you guys for being present. Love, peace, and happiness.